Okay, so today we're gonna have a little discussion about hotels, Jasmine Sullivan's project. So why does Bria love hotels? Well, to put it plainly, she is me. I am her. Like, I understand the story. Not all the way, but I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. So let's just get into it. So starting off, we gonna go down the whole project. Starting off with bodies as the intro. This is the song where you're hearing all of the guilt and shame, like literally all of the guilt and shame from we're uh catching this young woman in the middle of a cycle. Okay, um, if you hear the song and you can relate, then you already know what I'm talking about. If you can't relate, then this album ain't for you, basically, because you don't know where it's about to go. So if you can't even get past song one, just go ahead and turn it off because this album ain't for you. Okay. Antoinette's Tale. She's giving us the rationale. That's the rationale and the issue. She made a statement that a man will ask you while you're in the middle of the act, whose is it? And we'll tell him it's his, but the actuality of it is that it's ours. The problem is a lot of women don't realize that when they're laying down. They don't realize that it's theirs and not the man's. And this is how we get ourselves jacked up. Okay, so she kind of told us. Now, pick up your feelings. Pick up your feelings is basically how we treat men. Okay, this is how we treat them when they cross us. When you do some foul shit, you know you don't have no business doing. Okay, you cheated or you lied or you did all of those things or you did something abusive, whatever. This is how we do you when we honor ourselves. Okay, so you gotta go. Pick your feelings up with you too. Don't come crying to me, telling me all the reasons why you did what you did. Just get the out of my face. Okay, that's that's the rationale for that song. Okay, in my opinion. Now, then Ari comes in. No, oh, before I even get to Ari, so on the flip side of that is we also treat ourselves the exact same way as well. That's how we cope with the fact that we cared more than that person did. And so instead of us like being in our feelings about it and letting our feelings get the best of us to the point where we allow them to stay even though they have done us wrong, that's the part where we do that to ourselves as well. Like, we be like, get out your feelings. We ain't got time for no feelings, period. Okay. Ari's tale was about the self-denial phase. Okay. This is what happens when you don't get out your feelings. When you stay in your feelings about a nigga, then you're going to go you're gonna go above and beyond to do anything for them because you feel like they are this God on a pedestal. Like, you know what I mean? So you're gonna do whatever you gotta do for them. You're gonna deny the things that you need for yourself just to make them happy. You're gonna do all of that stuff. Okay, that's where that self-denial comes from. And then we get to put it down. And this is where we start understanding how a good girl turns into a trick. This is how you become a trick, okay? And basically, she's talking about like all the stuff that this man can do. And that she will allow him to get away with because he can put it down, okay? So, okay, all you gotta do is put it down and my standard is now lower. So you don't have to spend money on me. You don't have to X, Y, and Z. You don't have to show up for me in a way that I really need you to show up for me as a man, you just gotta put it down. That's the only thing I need you to do. So really, it's like I'm really tricking off on you, really. But then we get the flip side of that. We're on it, because then we get the part where it's like, why do you deserve it? That's the question. Like, I want the D, but I need to know why you deserve it. You're gonna have to perform. You're gonna have to go out of your way. You're gonna have to make an extra effort, and almost like it can get modeled, like both in the bedroom and out of the bedroom. How much extra effort are you willing to put forth towards me in order for me to be willing to give you this thing? Because this thing actually does cost more than what I was giving it away for prior. And so then we go to Donna. And Donna is basically telling you, baby girl, get out of the denial. Get out of denial of self. Stop denying yourself, but also get out of denial about tricking, okay? Don't, basically she's like, you are telling yourself, oh no, I'm a good girl. I'm not tricking off on nobody. She's like, no, baby girl, everybody's tricking off. You're just tricking it off at a very, 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 very low rate, and you need to up your rates. And she's right. If you're gonna be a hoe, if you're going to be treated like a hoe, not because you are, but you're being treated like one because a man is not willing to go the extra effort to lock you down, make you his, be committed to you and you only, and then he throws you away like you just a hoe, then stop giving it to them for so cheap, right? And so that's when this whole idea of price tags comes in, and that's where it's like, okay, now you on board, so let me tell you how to do this. Let me tell you how to do this hustle. Dress it up and make it look good. Make him want it, but don't let him get it unless he gonna pay for it. It's simple. Put your time into yourself. That's the reason why that self-care stuff be important, because get the hair done, get the makeup, get the skincare, whatever your look is for you. Get it together. Put yourself in that position that makes a man not even feel like he can approach you without being able to bring something to the table that you can't do for yourself. If I can afford to get myself this nice car, this nice house, get my hair done, my nails done, X, Y, and Z, lashes, all the things without you, what can you do for me? Because if you can't do any of those things for me, then you're going to have a hard time, because baby, somebody else is going to be able to. And if nobody else is able to, guess what? I can do it on my own. So I don't need you. That's where the trick comes in. And the other part of that, the flip side of that, was Pat started talking, and he started mentioning this baby situation. And from that line, now you can go back and listen to that and interpret it how you feel. But what I got out of that was, dudes will give you a baby, and that basically just to try to get you out the game, because they understanding how that stuff is going down. And so they're like, if I can give her a child, then no matter what, she's locked down to this child. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gotta take care of the child. She gotta blah, blah, blah. And if she love me, like she say she do, she not gonna get rid of the child. She'll keep the child, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. They be trying to run game. Don't do it, ladies. Stay protected. And then you got Rashida, and she started talking about like reasons why. Now, this is what my interpretation was. I feel like she's saying reasons why others trick on us, because she's telling the story of how the shoe was on the other foot. Instead of her being the one getting cheated on, she was the one doing the cheating. And this is the reason why other people would trick off on you. You know what I'm saying? Or trick off because they feel like, you know what I mean, they've been hurt. You know what I'm saying? And now they haven't even processed they hurt. They haven't even processed their trauma on some real. So they run out and they make a mistake, a very empty-headed mistake, a very like, it wasn't premeditated. I didn't think about it. I wasn't planning to do this. It just happened, right? Yeah, of course it just happened because somebody did that shit to you before. So you don't want that to happen to you again, but you didn't necessarily think about how, if you did it to somebody else, how it would make them feel. Very empty-headed, you know what I mean? And then finally we get to Lost One, and this feels like the climax of the whole project for me, because this is the song that is the pain that we've been trying to avoid this whole entire time. We've been trying to stay out our feelings. We've been trying to make it about just about the physical act of sex, or making it just about, you know, the hustle, or whatever, or the game. And the reality of it is that there's consequences to all of that. It hurts. And it all goes back to that first person that broke our heart. The first person that broke your heart. Not the one that you, man, I could go on and on about that, but it goes back to the first person that you feel like broke your heart. And then we get to Precious, and Precious starts talking about, you know, how she just wants the money, you know. So now we see, like, after you deal with the pain, or after you realize the pain, you like, okay, I feel it, but I don't like that feeling, you know, and I don't really know how else to avoid it except for just substituting love for something else. You know what I mean? Like, so she substituted love for money. So forget trying to be in love, forget trying to find somebody to be with. Let me just get this money. And if you trying to spend money on me, or you trying to spend money, I'm about that. I'm not trying to be with nobody who ain't got it. If you broke, don't talk to me. And then we get to the other side, and it's like, this is the struggle that so many people, especially people of color, go through. We just tired of being broke. We grew up broke, and we tired of being brokenhearted. Grew up seeing our parents brokenhearted. You know, they were sold a dream, and the dream was false. It didn't work out. So what's the point of being broke and brokenhearted? Like, pick your struggle at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, well, shoot, I might not be able to do nothing about being brokenhearted, but I can do something about being broke. So I just want to live the good life. Like, take me on the other side. And then finally, Amanda's tale, you know, she talking about, you know, really the insecurity of love and sex. Like, if you gonna be with somebody, no matter what, if you get with somebody just for the money, or if you get with somebody for love, there's that insecurity that lurks in the background because of what you've been through, of feeling like, okay, yeah, this person is gonna do something. Somebody else is gonna come along and they're gonna walk away from me, or they're gonna violate our relationship in some way. They're gonna prove themselves to be untrustworthy. And they feel like the only way to stop that from happening is to control with sex. And it's like, that's the struggle, that's the dilemma of relationship, especially romantic relationship, because when you have that deep intimacy physically, then it always ends up coming up as a tool to be used, unfortunately. And then finally, the last song, A Girl Like Me, it just wraps the whole thing up. It's just getting your heart broken, makes you want to go out and do the same thing to anybody who comes after that. And that's how you get a good girl who goes bad, like Rihanna. Or in this case, this is how you get a Jasmine Sullivan who's been singing about love and heartbreak and just going through it with these men to finally just saying, F it, you turned me into a hoe. And I love the album because it's very honest and authentic and open. And I feel like it's a lot of women who will try to deny that it's true because they don't want to be labeled as a hoe. They don't want to glorify what women have chosen to do in order to protect their heart and in order to get along in the world that we live in. So they're going to criticize it, and they have criticized it, and they criticize women like them, but they don't even realize that they are those women too, if you just stop and think about your situation. So, yeah. Or you have been at one point. So, yeah, if you haven't actually listened to the album, go back and listen to it. I thought it was pretty good.